Hello, Mrs. Godfrey. My name is Mary Jung, and I'm a student in Mrs. Simmons' English II Pre-AP class. We are doing something called the Journey Project, and our task is to find someone whose journey through life interests us, and I was wondering if you would still be willing to answer some questions about multiple sclerosis. The reason for that is because I'm doing my journey project on a famous cellist named Jacqueline Dupree. She suffered from MS and lost the ability to play the cello because of it. I wanted to interview you because I wanted to find out from someone who knows firsthand how MS can affect one's life. What was your reaction when you were first diagnosed with MS? How did you feel?
I was not real surprised, since I had some symptoms 3 years before that I was told could be a precursor to MS, but it was still a little hard for me in not knowing how the disease would be for me. I always have a positive attitude about things, so I accepted it and felt like I would take it a day at a time.
Did your life change in any way because of MS, or were you able to continue living as you did before you were diagnosed?
So far, I've been able to live a pretty normal life, except that I really try to be sure that I get enough rest and don't get overly worn out.
Did you have support from your family? If so, how did this affect you?
When I was diagnosed, I was in the midst of a divorce, so my husband was not very supportive, but my sons in my family, mom, dad, stepmom, and sister in her family, have been very supportive, though they all live in San Antonio.
What is a typical day like?
I have really been blessed, because I really don't do anything different than I did before I was diagnosed, except that I have to give myself a shot each night before bedtime. I have been doing this for a little over 2.5 years now.
Did you have to stop doing something you love because of MS? If so, how did you cope with it?
No, at this point I haven't had to.
What was the most important thing you learned?
Everyone should realize that they shouldn't take anything for granted, because at any moment in time, things could change forever. I am blessed that I haven't had too much inconvenience in changes to my lifestyle, but I also realize that at any point in time, that could change, and that changes could become permanent in the form of deteriorating health and mobility. I have a very strong faith, and my faith, family, and friends have been a great support to me, and I know that, when I ever need anything, they will be there for me. My strong faith gives me peace that whatever comes my way, I will be able to deal with.
What setbacks or obstacles did you encounter?
Almost 3 years ago, I had a relapse, and I was numb from the waist down. This lasted for about 6 weeks, and was inconvenient, in that I couldn't drive for about 2 weeks, but except for that, I had a positive attitude, and was prepared for whatever the outcome might have been. Fortunately, the feeling totally came back, and I was able to resume my normal activities, except that I had to start giving myself shots every day. I just accepted it as part of what comes with having MS.
Did your diagnosis change your outlook on life? If so, how?
Yes, basically the same answer as number 6. It caused me to have a stronger relationship with God and trust Him more than before.
Do you think your setbacks discouraged you, or made you stronger?
Definitely they've made me stronger.
Are there any choices that you made along the way that you regret?
No.
How do you think a person is affected by having MS, not just physically?
I think that it's just as much an emotional challenge as it is physical. For me, the emotional is more than the physical because deep down, I know that at any moment my life could change forever. Thankfully, I don't dwell on it, but I'm just thankful that I'm able to live a pretty normal life so far.
Is there anything more you'd like to share that would contribute to my project?
I think that anyone who is diagnosed with a chronic disease should keep as positive of an attitude as possible. I've always been positive about my condition, and because of my strong faith, I'm at peace with whatever happens to me. I was never scared at all when I was numb 2.5 years ago, and I think that really helped me both physically and emotionally. I believe attitude is extremely important.
Once again, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Your responses have helped me gain an insight into my person's life.